Hi guys. Well, I got another diamond in the rough. I love these diamonds in the rough. They're so much fun to work with. What I have here, as you probably found from the title of the video, is an Epiphone Les Paul Standard. Found it on Craigslist. It's missing pickups. It's got black parts on it, black tuners, real nice, what do you call them here, Grovers, but they're black. And it's had some touch-up signs. There's a chunk of wood out there somebody's touched up. It's pretty beat up looking, but the frets on it are really good, and the truss rod works, and that's all that matters. The rest you can work around. So what I'm going to do is put it back together. I've got all the parts lined up. In the bridge is going to be this DiMarzio Super Distortion, old one from the 70s. So I'm going to plop that in the bridge, and then I have a DiMarzio PAF. It's going to go in the neck. It's got pots in it, 500K pots, but they're kind of El Cheapo ones. I don't like them. They're very stiff. So they're going to come out, and I'm going to put cream rings on it. I'm going to put cream poker chip, and I'm going to put on a cream pick guard. And then we'll set her all up and see what we have. And I think I mentioned this is going to be changed to nickel. These are going to be changed. So I'm going to make it look back the way it should have. I think somebody tried to do the goth thing on it, and it didn't really work out. So, yeah, give me a minute. We'll throw it on the bench and get started. Okay, so we're on the bench. Here's a little bit closer look at the thing. The black bridge and all the sort of parts are going to come off. I have a nice aluminum tailpiece, a nice bridge here. These are all nickel, older stuff, which will suit the guitar. That's coming off. I'm going to put a cream one on. And I found some tuners in my drawer, some Grovers, so they're going to go on and replace these black ones. So I'm going to do my best to turn it into what it started out as. It's a little rough around the edges. Some idiot took some sandpaper to it in a few spots and wrecked it up. It's got some dings and chips in it. Nice chunk out of it there. And there's a couple on the back too. But it's 2002 according to the serial number. So it's old, but not terribly old. But anyway, let's get started, and we'll see what we wind up with. Okay. All the strings and everything are off her. Took off the black bridge and everything. I'm going to put these on. I have a couple tail pieces here to choose from. One's aluminum and one is not. So I'll probably put the this one's a Tone Pros. I might put the aluminum one on. I have to decide. But I got these. Now the Epis and most imports use this style of post for the bridge with the split in there for a screwdriver. And the US ones just have a skinny post, so it will fit like that. See, the imports are like that. You can see the split right there for the screwdriver. So in order to put a US type bridge on it, I have these. These I found on eBay from an outfit called Philadelphia Luthier Tools. The guy's got a zillion things. It's a great eBay site to get stuff from. But what it is it has the metric threads, and they just screw right in. I have one here. I'm trying to find a US one to show you. Don't have one handy, but it's got a much smaller hole. So with these, you can put them in and drop your American bridge right on there. So Philadelphia Luthier Tools for these things. Can't remember how much they were, but they're cheap. So anyway, I'm going to pull these off for now, and we're going to take a look at the electronics. Okay, got the covers off. Somebody's actually painted a cream colored one black, so whatever. And there's the pots that are in there. I'm not real crazy about them. They're just a bit on the El Cheapo side, and they're really stiff to turn. I don't think there's anything wrong with them, it's just the way they are. So those are going to come out. And they're also too, this wood has been carved away to make them sit really deep, and now as a result the shafts stick up way too high. These shafts are wrong anyway. So anyway, we're gonna get rid of all that crapola and replace it with something much better. Okay. There. Alright, so that's these pots. Get rid of them. Now let's flip over and see what we're working with here. I have a better switch. This one's just got a little one in it, like the cheap import one. This is a much better switch, so this is going to go in there. And lots of wire to fish it through. So, that's what we're doing. So, give me a minute, I'll pull this switch out, put the new one in, and then we'll pick it from there. Okay, well, I jumped ahead a little bit. I hit the play on the camera for whatever reason. It didn't take, so I continued on, blah 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 blah, and didn't get a fucking thing on tape. So anyway, I'll show you what I've done. I've installed the electronics, the pots and caps. These are old pots that have been in and out of guitars before, so they look a little cruddy, but they work just fine. And I've got the neck pickup installed, and now I have to do the bridge. So we can proceed with that. Take the bridge pickup here and simply slide it through. I find with Les Pauls or Les Paul style guitars, it's better when you're installing pickups to put the neck in first, because then you can run the wire on without any obstructions or few obstructions down into the control cavity, and then from there you can put the bridge pickup down alongside it. It's easier. If you put the bridge in first, then the wire can bunch up when it gets to around where the bridge pickup wire comes out. Just my experience, seems to have worked better that way. And another thing too is you can use the pick guard to make sure your pickups are aligned in the right spot. So here we go, I'll do that. And normally I'll screw it down, especially if you don't have pre-drilled holes and you're not quite sure where it's going, or you have to move the holes or fill them in because they're stripped, whatever. Then just drop the pick guard in place, screw it down so that it's firm, and then line up your pickup with the pick guard and put your holes in. But this one has pre-drilled holes, so we're good to go. So I'll just screw this down, and then we'll flip it over and do the wiring. Okay, kind of do a little bit of a problem. In order for this to screw down into the holes, the pickup is shoved right over, and as a result it will bind with the body of the guitar, the little tab here. So what I'm going to do is break up my router and just bring this back just a bit. I can see the line where the pickup ring sits, so I know how far I can go. I'm just going to open that up just a bit so that the tab doesn't bind on the guitar, so I can adjust the height of the pickup without too much effort. So give me a minute to do that and we'll continue. Alrighty, I got the route done. Just took a minute. You can see here, see pretty clearly, get my head out of the light, where the route was. So I brought it over just to the inside edge of where the pickup sits. That would be like that. Oops, wrong way. That would be like that. Incidentally, the pickup rings, you can see they're angled. The big part always goes towards the bridge on both pickups. You put it around the other way and you'll be looking at your guitar thinking, fuck, that looks stupid. Something's not right. No, that's what it is. The big bit goes this way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to install the pick guard, and it can be my, I gotta tighten down this little thingy here, little bracket. Once I got it in place, it'll tell me exactly where the pickup goes. Like I said, it doesn't matter too much if you have holes already drilled and you know they're in the right spot. But if you're drilling fresh holes, then this helps to get things where they're supposed to be. And twist the ends of the wires here so that they don't all splay out and bunch up as I feed this through. Try to keep them straight. There we go. And I can feel it went right in there. And here's the wires. Just want to make sure I get them where I want them first. There we go. Green one is ground and the white one is hot. And there we go, that's about it. I'll get this screwed down, then we'll flip it over and wire it up. Okay, pick up screwed down. Now we're about ready to hit the solder. So, as I said, the green is ground, so it'll go in the pot somewhere. And the white is hot, so it'll go in this tab right here. For hooking up all the other stuff, like I said, I messed up with the camera so I can get it, but there's a million videos on YouTube about how to wire up a Les Paul, and they can all do it much better than I can. So I'll leave that there. But I can show you where the wires for the pickup go. So, get our soldering iron. One thing I like to do is to clean the tip. All this slag and stuff that's on there, it's actually an insulator for heat, and it'll cause you no end of grief. The dirt will get into the solder and the solder won't stick right. So I just take it back on an X-Acto knife and just give it a little scrape. Get all the crud off there, it comes up nice and silver. Then we can get down to business. So let's put that out of the way. And we insert got a piece of wire. You insert the wire into the loop on the terminal. A little bit of solder. That's it. A little dab will do you. And we then get the other wire and try to bend it and twist it around so it'll stay put. Get that out of the way because we don't want to melt it. So what I'll do is I'll take the wire and I'll shove it down behind the pot. Keeps it in place. It's hard to solder wire when it's flopping all around. It won't stay down. So I'll just put that there like that. And try not to keep the heat on too long. You just want it on there long enough to melt the solder. And you want to make sure that it spreads out over the pot. You gotta get the pot hot too. So if the pot's not hot, the solder won't stick. It'll just glob on top and flake off, and you get what's called a cold solder. So that's on there good. I got the pickup on there. So in theory, this thing electronically should be good to go. So what we're going to do is flip it over. We're going to do a little tap test. I'll show you about that. And make sure it does what it's supposed to do. Hang on one sec. Okay, got her plugged in. The amplifier, got my little testing amp going. And what we do is turn everything up. If I can get that in shot. Turn everything up here. So it's all full. Start with the, oh, you can start with either one. I'm going to start with the neck because it's already there. Middle. Bridge. Now I'll try the pots too. Oops. Yeah, everything works. It's a little bit of a hum, but that's this light that I'm using. It's kind of a fluorescent job, and it kicks out some interference. So yeah, the hum I'm not worried about. So anyway, it all seems to work. So let's put our bridge and tailpiece on. No, actually, I'm going to change these tuners because I have a set of nickel ones. I'll take these black ones off. Okay, so hang on a second. Alrighty. I think somebody tried to do the goth thing on this thing, make it all black and all that, so we're going to change it back to the way it should be, the way a Les Paul should look. So I'll take off the truss rod cover first, since I'm going to have to get in there anyway. And I got a set of nickel tuners that I've had kicking around forever. They're actually old ones, so they look a bit, they look old. They look like they would suit the guitar. They're not super shiny. Okay, yeah. Truss rod's in there somewhere. Okay, so I'll take these off. This is a little socket. This is a 10mm. Millimeter. Yeah, guitars like this are fun to work on. They're cheap. You know, an Epi Les Paul, you can get them pretty reasonable. They're starting to sneak up now, I've noticed. People want like $500 or $600 for an Epiphone Les Paul. You know, especially if it's more than like 10 years old, people think it's vintage, which it ain't. So we will. This one was old and beat up. Bought it off Craigslist, but it turned out to be a guy that was just around the corner from me who I've bought stuff from before, and I've sold stuff too, and that was nice. He bought it for the same reason as me. as a project that he just never got to. You know, so I have all the parts kicking around the house. Didn't cost me anything. All I had to do is just round up the parts and drop them in. That's always good. It's one of the things about doing your own work on guitars. Anything you take off a guitar, keep it. Because sooner or later you're going to want it. You know, I enjoy it. This is part of it for me. Working on guitars. I just like to. Save a lot of money too. I've never paid a store or a tech or anybody to do work on my instruments, so I always do it myself. Because it's not brain surgery. If I can do it, anybody can. And there's not a lot you can really screw up. It's a good opportunity to get the dust off of this. It's not difficult at all. And it's quite satisfying. So, how did I put those tuners? Okay, so these ones I'm going to put over out of the way for a sec. Okay, I got tuners. They're a little rusty. I got no screws, so I'm going to have to use the old screws. Hang on a second. Okay, I got the tuners back in, the new ones, or the new old ones. Got them all screwed down. I think you need to see me driving screws. One thing I always do is make sure that these are snug. Don't put a ratchet or anything on them, a wrench, just hand tight's good enough. And when you do a string change, break this out and just make sure, because these sometimes like to work themselves loose, and then it'll buzz. It'll drive you nuts because you can't figure out where the noise is coming from. Been there, done that. So yeah. So anyway, we're back in business now with tuners. Everything turns nicely. Just wait, and throw the bridge and tailpiece on it, and continue. Okay. I've got bridge and parts. These are older parts, so they've got a nice patina on them, which will match the beat up nature of the guitar. I have two tail pieces. One's aluminum, one's not. Zinc, I guess. And other than that, they're pretty much identical, so I'm going to go with the aluminum one. Might as well. And also, what I have here is, if you'll notice, the bridge. Hang on for 1 second. Get in that. Okay, this is a U.S. style bridge, and this one is a import. Difference is the holes. The U.S. ones, like you get on an American-made Les Paul, have a small hole, and they take a small post. These ones take a big post. And here's one here. This is a gold one, but I'll give you the idea. So you can clearly see the difference between the two. I prefer this one just because I think it looks better. No other reason. The problem is you can't just shove an American post into an import guitar, because these holes here, these bushings, are a lot bigger. Yeah, the American ones take a small one. So I've got around that by these things. These are I got these from Philadelphia Luthier Tools on eBay. The guy's amazing. Check it out. He's got tons and tons of parts. You name it, he's got it. And they're all priced pretty reasonable. So I found these. So they have the bigger thread here, but the small post. So we screw right in, and bada bing. The bridge will just drop right in place, and you just adjust height accordingly. So I got the screws here. The screws are different. These are metric threads, so an American post will not fit. It has to be an import thread. Again, Philadelphia Luthier Tools has all that stuff as well. So you can do pretty much anything you want. Just go to that guy on eBay, and you'll pretty much find what you're after to make these types of changes. So, here's my tailpiece. There you go. Now, time to throw some strings on it, do a bit of a setup, and we'll see how it works after that. Just hang on a sec, I'll get the strings. So, there she is. The 1970-something DiMarzio Super Distortion, DiMarzio Path from the early 80s, 500K pots and gaps and yada 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 in there. The Grovers, nickel ones replaced the back ones. It looks much better with the nickel. So yeah, whoever had this guitar before, I bought it off an older gentleman who had sold it to some kid and then bought it back from the same kid. And while it was gone, the kid had tried to turn the thing into some kind of a goth monstrosity with black everything, and it just looked like shit. So I put it back the way she should be. And yeah, it's an Epiphone. And it's not bad. It's Epis are good guitars. I'm using a Boss Overdrive OD3 for a little bit of dirt. Like the clean Marshall MA50. Go up to the neck. Yeah, I really dig these old DiMarzios. They're great. I've got two of these 70 Super Distortions. One doesn't work. I gotta get it sorted out. And I got four, I believe. Yeah, four of the older Paths, and they're amazing. They're amazing. I've had them forever. I keep changing them, take them out of this guitar, put them in that guitar. No matter what I put them in, they sound great. So you can pick them up reasonably cheap. They're like maybe between $100 and $150 a pop on eBay. That's pretty close to what you pay for anything brand new that's half decent. So that's my thinking. So anyway, yeah, there she is. 2002 Epiphone Les Paul. Diving in the rough. Pick them up, beat up, and fix them up, and they've got good guitar. Just make sure the frets are decent and the truss rod works. All the rest of it you can work around. So, there you go. Any questions? Let me know. Thanks for watching.